Hi, welcome back if you're back, and hello, welcome in if you're new here. Today I'm going to touch again upon Ayurvedic self-care, and really I should just call it self-awareness because that's what this is all about, developing an awareness of ourselves using the Ayurvedic model. And that model is based on the elements of nature: air, fire, earth, and water. And we all have all the elements in varying degrees in our bodies and minds. And they do influence us and contribute to our countenance and the activity of the mind. And they're always there. So I know we just got done talking about a full body exfoliation routine, and I really hope that you will take advantage of that recipe and experiment with what works for you. I just started making my own products at home using, literally 2 ingredients, because I didn't like that in retail products there was often alcohol needlessly, as a way to preserve it. Of course, but our body does not need alcohol. And I like that I get to, just like cooking, I like to eat my own cooking. And just like the body scrub recipe, to me that's equivalent of me cooking my own food, which I totally enjoy. So today I just want to bring up living at a 6. And I don't think I've mentioned that before. I think it was on my live stream itinerary, and that is no longer. I'm sort of taking things from my live stream itinerary because the live stream didn't happen. So let's just talk about living at a 6, where 1 to 10, the scale is 1 to 10. 1 being absolutely stuffed full, and 10 being so hungry that you could chew a doorknob off of a door. So live at a 6. Conversely, if 10 is your stuffing point, and the 1 is you being hungry, so hungry that you would not make good decisions for yourself, you live at a 6. Always decide what you're going to eat before you get past a 6 in terms of hunger, because you start creeping up into 7 and 8, and you're gonna go for that instant craving satisfaction, something too sweet or too salty, or something that you didn't make for yourself, like that. So live at a 6. And I have found that when I have coached people just on that very simple concept, I've seen them lose the weight that they want to lose. It's a way to tap in and see what your body really, what fuel would be best, because that's what food is fuel for the body and the mind. And when you're at a 6, you have that level of discernment where you could make a good choice. And a lot of times, if I'm past a 6, I may sneak a couple of Cool Ranch Doritos. Full confession. But I know that's my downfall. And have, healthy snacks around to carry you over between meal times. I also make it a personal practice these days to not eat after 6 o'clock. And I know that seems a little early, like a lot of people are just eating dinner at 7:30 or whatever. But that's what works for me, is to not eat after 6 in the evening. And if the meal is not ready until after 6, then I skip that meal, or I'll have just fruit or, something very healthy. And that really keeps me light, because I don't like the feeling of going to bed on a big bloated tummy. That's going to interfere with my sleep. So live at a 6 and don't eat after 6. The 6s have it today. And a great way to stay balanced is, of course, meditation. I have a degree in Ayurveda, which is why I have so much knowledge, and also, 30 years of living the Ayurvedic principles. And I became a meditation teacher back in 1997. So I used to teach my own classes and, come up with multi-day workshops. And it was great fun and really fulfilling and satisfying. And I hope to use YouTube now as a way to impart some of what I know, hopefully most of what I know. At some point, this will just be like one big brain dump of Ayurveda and meditation techniques and the mechanics of meditation. I wonder if I have time to start that right now. To understand what happens in the mind when we meditate. So you sit down to meditate and you're trying to, minimize distractions, which may be a good idea. Shut the door so that animals don't interrupt you, although an animal will be very attracted to you when you're meditating because you're quiet and calm. And I have found that to be true with dogs and cats and guinea pigs and every kind of critter that ever ran through my house. They will find me when I'm meditating. And given the opportunity to release stress, the mind will throw out random thoughts. And that's what happens when you sit to meditate. Quiet, the mind is going to throw out thoughts. They could be thoughts about the washing machine needing repair, or maybe the car needs gas or a new transmission, or one of the kids has to be picked up from school and you have to be ready for that. The typical time to sit and try meditation is between 10 and 15 minutes with beginners. And just the very act of sitting still for that long is an accomplishment. So pat yourself on the back for every time you can be still for 15 minutes. That's really something. And your mind is still working. The only thing the mind knows how to do is produce thoughts of all kinds. Positive thoughts, negative thoughts, uplifting thoughts, derogatory thoughts. That's the only thing it's ever going to do, is produce thought. So if you just understand that about the mind, you won't have an expectation that it won't happen. It is absolutely going to happen. The first thing the mind will do when given an opportunity to be quiet is to release its stress. And it does that by producing thought, because that is the only thing it knows how to do. So that is important, I think. I like to tell people that. And my form of meditation that I've been practicing for 35 years is mantra meditation. And a mantra simply is a tool that the mind can use to focus. And so every time you have a random thought, like, my left shoelace broke, you can bring your mind back to the mantra and keep repeating it just very gently. I'm not a hardcore meditation facilitator. I think everything will happen in perfect timing, and everybody's got a different timeline. So if it's not your time, then it'll be another time. And if it is your time, maybe another time won't be. But just trust a little bit that all that's happening during that quiet space is natural, normal, and beneficial for your mind. Okay? Meditation is really, really good for us. And there's loads of benefits to meditation, from lowering blood pressure to the conversion of short-term memories to long-term memories. Not to mention, it just gives you a space, a literal space. So what you want to do is repeat the meditation practice until the thoughts start to slow down. And they do, and they will. And it might not be the first time. It might not be the second or third or eighth time, but it does happen. And every time you are sitting for those 15 minutes, you are doing something good for you anyway. So it's never a fail. I can't meditate because I'm not a vegetarian, or I'm allergic to incense, or I can't sit cross-legged. After 35 years, most of the time when I meditate now, I am in a supine position with my knees elevated a little bit. And I can sit cross-legged, but it is distracting. Not like when I was younger. I could just sit cross-legged for hours and hours and hours. And now it's limited how much I could do that. But I'm happy to be able to do it for any amount of time. The accessing the space in between thoughts is the most important part of meditation, because that is stillness, and you are literally creating space. The more you focus on the space between thoughts, the bigger that space is going to get. And in meditation circles, we call that the gap. And it's a gap. It's an empty gap. The thing about the gap is, when you are having the thought, oh, I'm in the gap, you're not in the gap, because in the gap there is no thought. And what's it like to not think? You will, a lot of times people focus on their breathing for meditation. And a lot of times in that gap space, people forget to breathe. So you may come out of the gap like with a big inhale, because you had not been breathing for, not a long time. It's nothing to be scared of. It's very liberating. And I think that's all the time I have for today. I wish I had more time, because I could talk about meditation all day long, and I'm sure that wouldn't be good for anybody. Anyway, I will see you again real soon, and please just try and sit still for 15 minutes. Anytime, anywhere. Not while you're driving.